Hi there, my name is Rick Barker, and this is 25 minutes from Nashville. If this is the first time you're joining me, I welcome you, and please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out any of the previous videos. While we're on the subject of that, while I'm letting the car warm up here, some quick house cleaning. I appreciate likes. What I want are comments, and the reason that I want comments is comments creates engaging conversation, and that's what you should be after, specifically when it comes to your engagement with your fan base. Likes don't tell you anything. You can't learn from likes. My goal with this is to help as many people around the world who want to understand the music business or radio or just general human nature. That's what this video blog is for. It's to help folks, and the only way that happens is if you share. If you like what I have to say, share it. If you don't like what I have to say, unsubscribe. You know, it's as simple as that. But don't get confused. Likes it's that little little ego. Yay, they like me. Well, I can't spread my message off of likes, and I can't get better unless you engage me in conversation. And if you're leaving comments, I'm going in and I'm going to comment back. And if you have questions, ask them. Because every time you ask me a question, I gain more education by providing you quality answers. That's just the way the conversation works. So here we go. For my buddy Jared, yes, blinkers are being used. I used my blinkers today. First off, I want to say thanks to Neil. Neil, who's part of a group that I'm part, Music Marketing Mindset, had some fantastic comments, and we're engaging in a pretty cool conversation. So Neil, I will get deep into detail on segmenting list at another time. What I did is I made the offer that if anybody had anything that they wanted to talk about or didn't understand and would like I'm giving you my knowledge. So this is not, let me also preface this. These are my opinions. What I share comes from my experience. What I share comes from my research and my fact gathering. I don't want to be one of those people that just says, you need to do this, this, and this, and then just leaves you hanging and doesn't tell you what it is that you need to do. So I will always do my best to not only identify a situation, but give you the solutions for those situations. Jared, listen. Can you hear the blinker? Great. You can't see my hands, but that's exactly what's happening right now as I leave my place. So, big question I get a lot lately is about radio. A lot of independent artists want to know when it's the right time for them to take their song to radio. And I think before I can answer that, I need to explain to those that don't know and some that think they might know what it is that radio actually does. Every business has its own set of goals, and they may not necessarily align with your goals. So what you want to do is find the best way to help them achieve their goal. And if you can incorporate yourself into that, you've hit a home run. So think about it. What is the goal of a radio station? The goal of a radio station is to sell advertising. That is the only way that radio stations generate revenue. It's not from playing music. It's not from having a sports talk station. They make their revenue from commercials. That's called traditional revenue. You'll hear some people refer and say, hey, you know, radio's really looking for ways to create NTR. That's called non-traditional revenue. That's the non-commercials. And that's where I found some pretty good success on being able to get radio stations to support new artists. So the goal of the radio station is to make money. The way that they make money is by selling advertising. The way that they get to charge more for their advertising is by having higher ratings. How do you get higher ratings? You have people listen longer. How do you get people to listen longer? You give them what it is that they want. What it is that they want, it seems, is music that they're familiar with. Music that they know. That's why when you're driving down the road and you hear the same songs pop up every couple hours, is because they have, in larger markets now, they have these things called the people meter, or you'll hear a PPM market. A PPM market and the people meter can tell you exactly when people are turning away and turning on. It's just like analytics you can get on your videos now to know when people are tuning in and tuning out. So the people meter can tell you what songs are they staying for, what songs are they leaving for, how far into a commercial break are they actually listening. That's where radio is going to start getting screwed, is because the traditional form of advertising is commercials. And how many of you listen to commercials? I know I don't. I know that right now I fast forward all the commercials. We become an instant society. So now radio stations are scrambling to say, okay, how can we create non-traditional revenue to make up for the folks that we can't go charge, Rick Barker for commercials that people aren't actually hearing. So this is where you can come into play, is because you need to show them as an artist or as a manager, as an artist, or as a record label, that there's relevance in that particular market for your artist. Too many people are trying to go out and get world domination first and get national exposure. I think that's wrong. I think that you need to start in your hometown. And let me say this, and I say this out of respect. If you can't be the best thing in your town, you're not going to be the best thing in the world. You may end up there one day, but immediately, if you can't show me, or a program director or a record company or an advertiser, I'm relevant in my market, then that's going to put you way back as far as everyone else is concerned. So what you want to do is show that you're relevant in your market. And that's why I preach segmenting email lists, because as you're using the internet to get all this exposure and you're segmenting, you can go onto your email database and say, okay, let me see everyone who's within 50 miles of Nashville. And let's say your email database comes back that you have 200 people that are within 50 miles of Nashville. Then you take that data and you start marketing and engaging with these folks. And the first step in marketing for me is to make sure that they have your music. And it's not by selling them your music. You can't, the first time someone gets to hear your music or have your music, they won't have to pay for it. There's too many options for them. So you market to them by inviting them to have your music and get to know your music. Then every other week, you're continuing to build this relationship through engaging emails and conversation and interaction on your social media sites. And then what you're able to do is you're able to reach out to them and say, okay, I want to come to a show in your area. Where is it that you think that I should play? They're going to tell you the clubs that you need to contact. Then you're going to be able to reach out to the club. Now, you notice we haven't gone to radio yet, okay? This is the buildup. So then we're going to go to that club and say, listen, I would love, I'm going to be traveling through town. I have quite a few fans in your area. Matter of fact, they're the ones that told me to contact you. I would love to either open for someone or have a night that I can perform. And they're going to hopefully ask you questions like, great, how many people, blah, 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 blah. Well, you have 200 people that you've built a relationship, that know your music, that now, if you've done the relationship part right, can't wait to meet you because you're not in their town all the time. So you go ahead and book yourself a show. You go ahead and sell your own tickets online. You go ahead and create your own bundles that have meet and greets and all kinds of cool stuff where these fans are going to show up. Another trick that you can do, and as you're learning about me, I'm pretty sporadic and I think off the fly. So another thing that you could do is you could go to the bar owner, and I used to be a bar owner, so I can speak intelligently on this, is go to the bar owner and say, how much do you charge your employees for beers, and would you be willing to sell me employee pricing on your beers? In most places it's like $1. So what you do is you spend $100 and you buy 100 drink tickets, and then you go and say, hey, for the first 100 people that come to the show, I'm going to buy your first beer. Come have a beer with me. Cost you $100, but if you just sold your tickets for $10, you just made $900. Okay, so don't be afraid to invest money to make money. So if you put the $100, that's just a little side note there. So then you're able to go to the local radio station and say, hey, by the way, I'm coming to town. I'm doing a sold out show. Find a venue that's small that you can sell out. The word sell out's awesome. Say, I'm coming to town doing a sold out show. I would love to give you guys the opportunity to hang a banner if you'd like, or I'd love to give you the opportunity. This is what Billboard magazine featured the story on the opportunity I created. Say, hey, how would you like to give my music away through your Facebook and Twitter page, and maybe some tickets to this sold out show? Now you're relevant. Now they've got something that no one else can get, which are tickets to this sold out show. Now you're not asking them for airplay. You're not asking them to do anything that's going to jeopardize the fact that they have to play this familiar music in order to sell commercials. What you're doing now most of the time are the bars are clients of the radio station, so the bars will include you in the advertising. Side note, most of the time bars are the worst clients for a radio station because they're the worst to pay their bills. So you may want to make sure by going and doing a little research first on the radio station's website or Facebook page if they do events with these bars, and try to target bars or venues that the radio station already has a relationship with and enhance that relationship. So another thing that you can do to build awareness in a market is to contact the people who spend the most money at radio stations are usually car dealerships, in local markets anyway. Are car dealerships, casinos are the big ones right now. So what you may want to do is you may want to contact the local car dealer and let them know, hey, I'm Rick Barker, I'm in a band, we're actually coming to play in a few weeks at a club in your area. I was wondering, how many people during the week would you say test drive your cars? And they're going to tell you, ask to speak to a sales guy. They're going to tell you. I was wondering if I could send a box of CDs, and would you mind giving them away with everyone who test drives a car? Matter of fact, I'm coming to town to do a sold out show. I'd even love to give you a couple tickets for you to come in and see this show. So now if this car dealer all of a sudden says that they do 100 test drives in a week, then you know what? Produce 100 CDs, anything. They're not expensive to duplicate now. Send them to that market, and now you have 200 or 100 more people who will know your music, and it will be familiar in that market. And then what you do at this show, you build a relationship with those fans, and you give them opportunities to follow you on your social media, and then you start thanking the radio station for their support. Doesn't matter that they didn't play you. If they answered the phone, they supported you. Thank them for their support. Start including them in your hashtags, they'll start retweeting themselves, because the people who control the social media sites of the radio stations are not necessarily always the program director and music director. They're the promotion people. And the promotion people, every time they have Google alerts that every time something's said about their radio station, they retweet it. So now your Twitter handle is being retweeted in this radio market. Then you're going to encourage people, hey guys, go follow the local radio station. Don't yet say and ask them to play my music. Just say, hey, go follow the local radio station. I really want to show them I appreciate what they did to support me. Then what you do, here's where the strategy comes into play. After the show, if you've done everything right and you segmented, they've signed up for your access list. I don't like lists. They've got on your list where you're going to be able to communicate with them. Send the follow-up with either pictures from the meet and greet, or if you created a photo album on your Facebook page with pictures from the meet and greet, make sure that they have that link. But say, here's what I would love for you to do. I can't wait to come back and see you. Because you have to remember, the people that are reading this are engaged with you now. You're not speaking to everyone. You're speaking to this engaged group of people. If they open up this email and you're giving them a link to see what's going to happen at your web, if they're there, if they're in that mode, this is a different form of conversation. You're going to say to them, here's what I need you to do. I need you to start reaching out and commenting on the radio station's Facebook page, on the radio station's Twitter. What a great time that you had at my show. And then when the time is right, I'm going to ask you guys to start contacting them and requesting my song. The problem that most people have is they try to do everything in one day. They try to get on the radio, they try to get the venue, they try to get the fans, they try to do everything. It is a process, and there is a tactical strategy involved with this process. Most people just get booked on a show, announce on their website or Twitter feed, hey, I'm coming to town to do a show. There's no thought that goes into what can I do to make this show the best show possible. Most artists, heck, they don't even plan their set list before they get there. That's the biggest disservice that you can do to a fan, is who's paid money to come see you, is to be that unorganized. And that's what I love about Tom Jackson and what he teaches with his program. So I hope you understand radio a little bit better. Tomorrow, what I'm going to talk about, and tomorrow's probably going to piss some people off, but tomorrow I'm going to talk about why you should not be spending money trying to break yourself at radio. And there's a lot of companies that make a lot of money taking your cash to do just that. But I'm going to explain to you the process. I'm going to explain to you why it hasn't worked effectively. I'm going to explain that there's an easier, softer way to do this. And if you appreciate what it is that I'm doing, like I said, my goal is to help everyone. I need you to share this, and I need you to leave a comment on the YouTube section, because the way that things work in YouTube's world is if there's something that's getting comments, it looks engaging, they will rank it higher. And if our goal is our mutual is to help as many people as possible, I need you to share it. I need you to comment on the YouTube channel itself, not necessarily the Facebook page or wherever you might be seeing this video. And if you want more from me, I offer a free video series with some really cool stuff. All you have to do is go to my website and let me know where to send it. If you would ever want some private time with me or engage in more conversation, I do offer that service, and you can reach me at rick@rickbarker.com. So have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. If you missed any of the previous episodes, you'll find them as well here on the YouTube page, and I will talk to you soon. Ciao. Okay, this is the first time that I've ever had to add on. I got to thinking more as I was driving about I had another thought on the car lot situation. I told you my mind works crazy. Car dealers could actually include you in their advertising. So if you've gone and done the work to create a sold out show, they can include in their advertising, and you bring this up to them to say, listen, I would love to give you a couple pair of tickets to this sold out show and meet and greets, and people can stop by your car lot and register to win. So when they run their ads that week, it could say, hey, stop by, test drive the new Chevrolet, and while you're here, everyone who test drives this weekend receives a free CD from Rick Barker. By the way, he's got a sold out show coming up, and we'll give you a chance to register to win tickets and meet and greets and backstage passes. So head on over to blah, 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 blah. Now you've got advertisement on the radio station that you didn't have to pay for. Now your name's being spread out there. And when you call the radio station and invite them to be a part of your sold out show, the thing that's going to go through their mind is, how did this person sell out a show in our market with no radio airplay and realistically no support from the radio station? They're going to see that you did that because you have access to their consumer. You have access to their listeners. And now you're starting to make yourself relevant in that particular market for that particular radio station. Not every radio station in the country, but that particular market and that particular radio station. You're able to start building your relationships and your regions one step at a time. The key is to become kick butt in your area, then step out 100 miles, and then step out 100 miles more, and then take everything you've done within those 100 miles, 200 miles, over the next couple years, have data that you can actually present and show, this is where I'm relevant, this is why I'm relevant, this is how much I've sold, this is the communication I have with my fan base, this is the support that I have on my social networks. Now you become that partner that I was talking about earlier for a radio station. So I'm sure I'm going to have more crap coming to my mind. It always does. But I think this has got you covered for right now and explains a little bit more about the radio station side, a little bit more how you can make yourself relevant to a particular radio station and then be able to take that story into the next town and duplicate. Everything that I teach is duplicatable. And that's what you want to invest your time and energy into, are things that are duplicatable. So, all right, so there you go. Sorry I had to come back on you on that, but shit happens. All right, have a good one. Ciao.